What's going on, Elevate Amarillo? This is Matt Silva, and I'm with Mr. Merritt Vaughn. We are doing a mentorship pillar interview with Mr. Merritt Vaughn today. And the one thing that I want to let you guys know is Merritt is my mentor, and has helped. He's a big part of the success that I've had, and some of the doors that have been opened for me. Also, just me pursuing, growth, personal growth. But not only that, wanting to mentor others. It's like you just want to give back, right? So we'll go ahead and get started. And without further ado, Mr. Merritt Vaughn, will you tell us a little bit about what you do and about how many people you employ?
Well, anyway, so hey, thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Elevate Amarillo. Been to one of your meetings. I know Mayor Ginger Nelson is a big fan of everything you guys are doing and the impact you're making to the Amarillo area. So it's just an honor for me to be here. And Matt, thanks for the invite.
No problem.
I've got an interesting world that I'm in. The first leadership role that I play, no, they're not employees, but obviously it's my family. Beautiful wife, Pam, 4 children. Got 2 son-in-laws. About to have in the next 90 days. I'm about to have a new daughter-in-law and a new son-in-law, and we have 4 grandbabies. So my first leadership role is there in the family, and I take that very serious. You have a leadership role through Trinity Fellowship Church. There's not employees there, but I'm a pastor there, and anyway, there's 200 or 300 people on the team that I help lead. So that's another part of my leadership role, if you will. In terms of our actual business, State Farm, which is the office you work at, we have a team, not counting me, of 6. Had 5, just added another one, so that's 6. Orkin, which we have locations in Lubbock, Bryan College Station, and Lufkin, Nacogdoches, Huntsville. We have a total of 22 employees that are part of that. Then we have the Country Auto Group, which is 2 locations in Amarillo, Border, and Tampa. That's 113 team members. And then we actually are in the process right now. We're opening a really cool vegan concept restaurant in Austin, Texas that we're going to be a part of. Probably start off with a staff of 10. And then there's something I can't talk about, but it's looking pretty good, and that would be another 30 some odd. If that does come to fruition, be able to probably make that more public in the next couple of weeks. So anyway, I've got a world of different teams that I'm blessed to get to lead. So it's a little bit of what my leadership role looks like.
Okay, that's a ballpark about 200. What do you say? 100 employees?
Yeah.
About 200?
Yeah, about 200.
Yeah. Okay. So 200 people, 200 people's lives that you impact pretty much on an everyday basis. I mean, for the most part, at least 5 days out of the week.
Yeah.
So with that being said, who is your biggest mentor throughout the start of your journey, or mentors? Who, if you had to narrow it down, who played the biggest mentoring role in your journey at the beginning?
Well, it's interesting because I did a call. I do leadership development, as you well know, Matt, with our different companies, and I had a group called the Emerging Leaders that I just got a call with part of this. We were talking about some of this, and it kind of helped because you gave me a little advance notice on some of the questions, so I was able to kind of think about this a little bit. And it's interesting. I'm going to go back to 3rd grade in Canyon, Texas, and I made a friend on the playground, a guy named Tracy, and his dad's name was Terry Clark. And I was, I don't know if I was that much different than anybody else, but I was kind of a kid that I didn't really know where I fit in, didn't really know kind of where my place was in life, just a 3rd grade kid, kind of muddling through life. And but I was a pretty big kid back then, pretty fast, pretty strong. And what I didn't realize is my friend Tracy was scouting out people that his dad potentially wanted to play on the Kids Inc. football team. And so I was recruited to be on, and the name of the team was Terry's Pirates. And I just tell you, I went to lunch a couple of years ago with Terry, who's now 70 some odd years old. Changed my life. So, you know, my first mentor was my football coach. I coaches football, basketball, baseball, and track. So pretty much year round, I was playing sports for him. And he installed, and you know, I remember him saying the words internal fortitude, which I was young, I didn't know what that meant, but he began to really teach us having a winning mindset. And what I mean by that is, in today's world, maybe people wouldn't view that good, but we play the game to win. We practice very hard. You know, and again, maybe today it would be looked at as maybe extreme, but you know, we didn't lose any sporting event for 4 years. It installed in me if I stepped on the field, I had a high level of confidence because we were prepared, and we just showed up with the attitude of we're winners and we're going to win. And you know, that level of confidence. You know, I go back and I think about my son. I would watch him as a young boy walk on the field or the court or the track. He became a college scholarship track athlete, but I could tell when he walked out how well he was going to do. And it was based on the confidence that he carried himself with, his demeanor, how he walked. I could look at him and knew pretty close to how he was going to perform that day. I don't think that that's different than most of us. I believe a confident, faithful, inspired Matt that feels very, very confident in what you're doing and your ability to succeed and win. I believe when you walk in with that attitude, that I'm going to call that winning mindset, I believe the likelihood of your achieving and being successful is astronomical. The same man, the same woman that walks into a situation scared, tentative, doubtful, all those things, same skills, same person, same everything. I believe your opportunity to win or to succeed is diminished greatly. So as simple as that sounds, Terry Clark installed in me the attitude of having a winning mindset, and to today is astronomically important to everything I do.
That's great. Yeah, that's really good to pick up on Elevate, because if you want to listen to somebody that's successful and running at a high level right now, Merritt Vaughn is one of them. He's what, about seven businesses, would you say, right now?
More, but that's okay. Yeah.
More?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
7 different industries, would you say?
Well, different industries, yeah. You know, so if you count our working things, we're 11 and we're about to go to 13 and probably in the next 90 days. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
13. I don't know how he does it. I watch him run circles. He's special for sure. So, you know, and that kind of brings me to the second part of that question, and how important. I mean, I think you kind of already answered this. Is how important was that to success as far as mentorship? But I think you kind of hit the nail right on the head with letting me know that it was about your attitude. You know, about how you step on the field, and how you approach every day, and how you step onto the field, being his businesses, you know, whether it be Oregon, State Farm, country, any of that. You know, when you step through the door of that church, I mean, it's, you know.
Yeah. You know, a mentor that I've never met, right? He's passed away now, but somebody that's influenced my life is a coach that some of you guys may know the name. His name is John Wooden. Arguably the greatest coach that's ever lived. Certainly, most people would say he's the greatest college basketball coach. Coach UCLA. I can't remember, it's 3 or 4 undefeated seasons in a row, 10 national championships. I mean, right, unbelievable stuff. He has a famous quote that says, "When opportunity presents itself, it's too late to prepare." And so one of the other things that Coach Terry Clark taught me is to be prepared and to put the work in prior to the game, right? So the game is won before the game.
That's right.
The success that I, Matt, any of you on this call, the real game, if you will, is won before you step on the court. It's in the preparation. Because again, how do I have more confidence? I build confidence through being prepared. If I were to walk into this meeting unprepared, or sometimes, like you're not even really saying, right, it's almost kind of you're making stuff up, right?
Right,
it's like,
I'm just running in circles.
Yeah. Great stuff. But it's being prepared and knowing that you're prepared, and that exudes more confidence, and it's not a false confidence, it's a confidence because I put the work in. I've done the reps, I've done the training, I'm mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually prepared. I'm ready for this battle, and so preparation and hard work are another essential piece. I think it's a non-negotiable part of success.
Right. So that's a big time right there. So if you didn't catch that, say that quote one more time from John Wooden.
Oh, John Wooden. So when opportunity presents itself, it's too late to prepare. In other words, if the ball's passed to you and you're on the outside, with a 3-point shot, if it's the first time you're going to shoot it, right, good luck. But if you're a guy like Michael Jordan that shot that shot, I don't remember. I think it was either Kobe or Michael, but every day before high school, it was like 200. It was a huge number. Free throws they shot.
I think it was Jordan. Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day, right? And so, there's a point where, some people might say, I think I shot in the free throws.
Yeah. See, it's one of the easy shots that there's really no, I kind of just stand there, there's nobody guarding me whenever I shoot it. It's a free throw, right?
And so I shot 10,000 unprepared. But everything I study about the greats it's the fundamentals, and it's over and over. They never stop with the fundamentals. And so when they step on the court, it's that muscle memory. It's that they're not even. It's an instinctive thing. They know. They know the arm moves. They know all the. And so it's just they're just doing it. And I think when you and I are prepared, Matt, and we step into that, we're going to be extremely confident, and our chances of success go through the roof.
I agree. I do. Obviously when you're prepared, whenever you're showing up to a meeting and you're not prepared and you're kind of just fumbling through. But like you say, I've heard you say it a couple of times, some of us are talented enough that we can fumble through, but we're not giving the most potential of ourselves. We're not impacting other people. We're kind of just wasting our talent. Yeah. I would say. Yeah. When we don't prepare.
Yeah. And I'd love just a real quick comment on that is, and some of you on the call are these people, right? Super talented. You walk into the room unprepared and you're better than 90% of the people in the room. But let me just say something, that's today. Because Matt may be way more talented than me today, but if Matt continues to be unprepared, and I continue to do my daily, right? I'm training myself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Every day I'm a little better than what I was the day before. Matt may start off a little faster than me and at a little higher level, but give me a little bit of time, right? Because that consistency and that discipline is what separates people.
That's right.
And that's why you'll see a really smart, talented person, younger, maybe excelling for a period of time, but it's the more consistent, disciplined person that has the right habits, routines, and rituals that they do over and over and over and over again. That person in the long run is going to probably succeed at a much higher level. That's my experience.
They'll eventually pass you whenever you just slack. So,
right.
The next question I have for you is, how do you choose? Obviously, with Terry, it was kind of he was your buddy's friend or your buddy's dad,
Yeah.
so that kind of just had that connection there. But coming up to, we're 20 to 40-year-olds as far as Elevate goes. As a 20 to 40-year-old, if I'm looking for a mentor or wanting to approach a mentor, how would I get somebody's attention to be mentored by it? If I'm like, hey, I really want that. I really like what they're doing. I mean, what's the right way to approach somebody like you?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
How do I get your attention? What makes it worth your time? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. Yeah. So the number one thing is, I hope you really need to be working hard today. You need to be preparing, putting an enormous amount. You need to be working on your growth now. In other words, now, let me just say, if you're trying to attract a really high caliber mentor, these are people that are probably, you're not the only person asking them.
Right.
Right. And they're probably people that have extremely busy lives. And if it's that type of individual, they're going to look and they're going to say, is this person, don't take this wrong, are they worth my time?
Right.
Right. And so here's some things I would suggest. Let's say that you approach somebody and they say, okay, let's go get some coffee. Let's go grab some lunch, right? Whatever that looks like. Why don't you come by my office and let's visit? If that door opens, be over prepared, right? Whatever that looks like, be over prepared. Study what you're going to ask them. Study, have clarity of vision and mind of what you want, what you're trying to accomplish, where you're trying to go. Demonstrate to them some of the things that you've already done. Maybe it's books that you're reading, maybe it was some type of program that you paid and put yourself through, whatever that is, or maybe it's some of the things you've already accomplished in your life or where you're trying to go. But be over prepared, and and then the other thing is, if you get into mentoring, and I'll just tell you, this is I believe for myself, I'll just say this, right? I think for most mentors, is have a teachable spirit. In other words, if you come in with kind of the attitude of I kind of know it all, and you're the one kind of rambling on a lot, and the mentor's just kind of sitting there looking at you, and you're kind of right. You're probably not going to get a second time. But have a teachable spirit, and when the mentor says, hey, so and by the way, one of the things is be respectful of their time. If they don't tell you how much time that they have allocated for you, you ask them, right? And then if they say 1 hour, then about 10 minutes before your time's up, say, Mr. Such and Such, Mrs. Such and Such, I know we're winding down. We have about 10 minutes left. Is it okay if I ask you one more question? Okay. And they'll appreciate that. What mentors hate, if they get trapped in a situation and they tell somebody, I've got an hour of time to allocate for you, and you end up there 2 hours, you may think, man, that went great and all that, but they're looking back and going, man, I threw my whole schedule off. I'm messing all day. So be respectful of their time. When they ask you, or when they suggest 1 or 2 things for you to do them. Okay, and then also not only do the task, but you want to tell them what the result was from that. So, like if you say, my goal is I'm trying to increase, maybe you're in some type of marketing or sales type thing, and you're selling 20 of this or whatever that is, and trying to go from 20 to 25, and your mentor says, hey, if I were you, I'd try these 1 or 2 things. Do those 1 or 2 things, monitor your results, and then tell the mentor, this is what I did, this is what I heard you teach me, this is what I did, and then these are the results that came from that. How did I do it? And so, because if you want to excite somebody as a mentor, and they have invested their time, and you say, this is what I heard you tell me to do, this is what I did, and Mr. and Mrs. Mentor, this is the result of what happened. Did I do it right, and what should I do now? I'm just telling you, you're likely to have a very long mentor relationship, where you're gonna probably lose the mentor. I've been there. Somebody says, hey, could we have another hour? Sure. Yeah, let's go get some more coffee. Let's have another lunch. Let's do it. Because what the mentor is excited to hear is, hey, how did things go from what we talked about last time? And if you don't bring it up, they're going to probably say, hey, how's everything going? Where are we at? What's going on? Right. And they go, oh, well, yeah, well, I haven't really got around to that thing you were talking about, but because, you know, my life's been kind of crazy and busy, which everybody's life is crazy and busy. And then the mentor goes, oh, well, have you done what I suggested? Well, no, but I'm working on it. And then they're going, what are we doing sitting here? Right. You know, because if you ask me again, hey, what's your, you know, hey, here's what I got going on. Well, my advice is to still do the thing I told you to do. In fact, I don't know why we're having coffee second time. Right. So, you know, and then if you're lucky enough to get a third one and you still haven't done it, that's probably it, right? If you got a mentor that's going to just continue to have coffee, you just enjoying some coffee together. It's not really a mentor. A mentor-mentee is a clear track, and you're continuing to grow, and you're continuing to make progress, and that's when you know one, you got a good mentor, and two, you got a good mentee, and things are getting better in their life. Because, you know, Matt, you tracked along and haven't been perfect. None of us are perfect. But where Matt is today and where he's headed is exceedingly higher and accomplishing more things than, you know, 5 or 6 years ago when we sat down for a cup of coffee.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly right. I was going to say the same thing. You know, from where we were whenever we sat down for our first cup of coffee. But you know, everything you just said about, you know, basically what I think it boils down to is you got to take it serious. That's really the person you want to mirror your life or mirror your success off of, or try to track that person and try to keep them, you know, interested and engaged and helping you to grow. It goes back to what you were saying about the fundamentals, consistency, and discipline. You got to be disciplined to want to grow, right? Because if I come to you and I'm just like, hey, Merritt, teach me your ways, right? I mean, teach me what you do. Well, you can teach me all day, but if I don't put the work in, I don't do the fundamentals, I don't do the discipline that you're talking about, then I'm not ever going to get anywhere near it. I mean, you can tell me your formula.
Well, the principle, Matt, and this is, I'm glad you brought this up, because I don't think I said this clearly. The mentee brings the question for the mentor, right? If you're expecting to sit down with a mentor and just say, you know, Mr. Mrs. Wise person, teach me your ways. Man, I mean, your ways about what? I mean, you know, the relationship should be you as a mentee come and say, these are my dreams, goals, and aspirations. This is where I'm at. This is what I've done. These are all the things I've done to get to where I'm at. This is where I'm trying to go. And so if it's okay, Mr. Mentor, I'm going to ask you some specific questions around that. And that's the deal. And so you ask them specific questions, they give you specific responses. Your responsibility is to bring the right questions and to have thought this out. If it's a blank slate, I mean, again, you may have a nice cup of coffee, but it's a hope and a prayer that there's some nugget that falls out that's exactly what you're needing. Mm-hmm. The mentor, the man or woman has no idea really where you're trying to go. I mean, what's your advice? Well, on what? I mean, you know, I mean, I can give you my advice on a lot of things. I mean, what do you need, Matt? Right. You know, where are you trying to go with this? Yeah.
Hey, how do I own, 12, 13 different businesses? That's so broad. It's, you know what I mean? You can't just, they're not just you didn't wake up one day and you're just like, hey, I'm going to go out and buy 13 businesses. It's been a constant growth of
Progression.
building, right?
Yeah.
So, it's all been specific. It's all been, there's a specific goal at the end of it. It's not just I'm going to buy this just to buy it, right? I mean, it's not just hey, you know what? That sounds like it'd be something I want to meddle in. It's a specific, there's a specific need there for you, there's a specific need. So, with that question, we're getting some really good stuff out of this. And so if, I guess here's the real thing. So obviously you've been really successful in everything that you've done, right? I mean, pretty much, I feel like everything that you touched, because I know him a little bit better than most people do. I'm kind of a little bit in your inner circle since I worked directly for you. We've been together for about 6 years now. Everything that he's touched, from my view, has been really successful. So with that being said, would you say that you still seek mentorship out, or would you say you're more so on the giving of mentoring versus being a mentee? But how does that balance look for you as far as that goes?
Well, if you want to continue to grow in life, you got to have mentors.
Right.
And so, the idea is, biblically, which, one of the things I am also a pastor is, biblically, the representation of the Dead Sea is a receiving body of water that is fed by a river with no outlet. So that would be a mentee being mentored, but then not mentoring somebody else.
Right. Okay.
So a healthy body of water has an inlet that would be a mentor coming in, and then also people that they're helping. So that is the biblical representation of a growing, thriving, healthy body of water. But yeah, no, I typically have a handful of mentors. Now I will tell you that mentors change over time. The needs that you have, quite honestly, sometimes the growth where you're at as a person, your peer group, I found over time shifts. If your peer group that you're running with doesn't continue to grow, if they're not tracking in the same direction as you're tracking, you may see your peer group shift. In fact, it probably should and will shift. Doesn't mean that you don't stop loving people or caring for people, but it just may mean that you need to shift. Well, the same thing with the mentor-mentee. Over time, those have changed in my life. I have a handful today. One of those, and let me just encourage you, I believe very strongly that Matt, Merrick, you on Elevate, that you should be personally investing in your growth. I have a coach. My coach is expensive. But if I'm not willing to invest in my own personal growth,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not willing to put skin in the game, then really, what am I saying? I'm willing to tap into and right now, see, we're not in a knowledge industry anymore, or right, this is not the, so let's use losing weight. Is there a secret to losing weight that nobody knows about, right? Is there some secret pill or something? Well, no, right? I got to eat less, eat better, maybe in some cases, right? And I've got to do some form of exercise, whether that's lifting, running, combination, whatever that is, yoga, right? But it's some combination of better calories, less calories, more exercise, right? So and that goes with business or anything. I mean, all the social media, it's all free, right? And I think one of the dangers in the world is that Matt and Merrick thinks I can just tap into all these free resources and I'm going to get what I need. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. Okay. I believe that we need to invest in our own personal growth because, I hope I'm not going too long.
No, you're good.
So I was on a flight. This is back pre-COVID. We were flying, and it was really interesting. God kind of puts us around people on purpose. So I'm sitting next to this man. We strike up a conversation. And, as you eventually say, hey, what do you do? Well, he was in the education industry. He's a consultant. He was flying in. He's some type of consultant for AIS. He's an educator. My dad was a college professor. He's an educator. I've grown up an educator. Love educators. But, so he started down the path in just a conversation we're having that he believes that college education should be free. And it's a very prominent thought out there. Bernie Sanders, there's a lot of people, some of you on this call may say, I'm 100% behind that. In fact, I'm going to vote for any candidate that would provide free education. And look, I'm 100% for doing things that will grow people and advance our society. If free education is it, I would personally fund people's education. In fact, I've helped people with education. But this is my experience. This is what I told the gentleman on the plane. Is, can I tell you why I have a different opinion about education and how it should be paid for? I don't want you to hear me say that I don't think that we should give somebody a hand up or to assist. But the example that I asked this guy is I said, how did you get your first car? And he said, my parents bought it. And I said, okay. And I said, a lot of parents do that. And I've done that to a degree with my children. I said, will you honestly tell me the difference between the car your parents bought you and the first car you bought completely on your own? What's the level of care, attention, even washing it, maintenance, all that? I said, will you please be honest with me and tell me what's the difference? And he kind of chuckled and he said, yeah, the one I bought with my own money, I took way better care of it. And I said, that's the reason why I think free education is dangerous, because there's no value. If I don't have skin in the game, I don't place a high level of value. If I watch, look, I run every morning. I watched a good YouTube video this morning and I learned something from it, okay? I'm not saying that there's no place for that, but I am suggesting that pull some money out of your back pocket, tap into some resources, and personally grow, because you will value that more, you will work harder at it, and you'll get more out of it. And as you grow and as you become more successful, that price tag will continue to go up.
Sure.
If you don't, this is my personal opinion, if I don't stop and pause and go, that's quite a bit of money.
Right.
Should I do that? Then, right, because, you know, if it costs me $5 to do something, there's $5 of value.
Right.
If it costs me $500, there's $500. What if it costs me $5,000? What if the price tag's $5,000? Well, then I go, that's a significant investment. If I'm going to spend $5,000, I'm going to be all in.
That's right.
Right? And so I think that that's a principle that sometimes in today's world where we have endless amounts of free material to tap into, right? Most of us give it that type of attention. We're not sitting down taking notes. We're not studying afterwards. We're not, right? We just, it's information we're consuming that may or may not really impact our life. So anyway, maybe that helps.
No, I'm so glad that you went there and told that story, because that was going to be part of the next question I was going to ask you, as far as, you know, having skin in the game. Because I do know him so well, I know that about him, as far as, you know, and I'll tell you this, he's one of the most gracious people that I've ever met. But if you really want to grow, it's not that he doesn't want to do it for you or can't do it for you. It's that there's a portion of that where you have to be invested and have to use some of your own resources, your own money, your own time, in order to get the full value out of it, right? I mean, there has to be an investment there from your end as well. So, man, that's great. I mean, that's a great way to pretty much wrap this up. But the only other question that I had was, and I want to circle back to this, because I think it's important if you're running a business or wanting to run a business, or you're in leadership in a business, but you know, it started out with the fact of how many people Merritt has that he employs, as far as that question goes. But as far as mentorship goes, how important is mentorship to your employees, as far as the growth side of that? Not only for themselves, but for your business. How important is that for you guys?
Yeah. So one of the things that I say over and over and over again, one of the main things I do is leadership development. We have a true culture of growth. I do not expect perfection. We do goal setting, but that's just in an attempt to keep people moving forward, not in the idea of arriving somewhere, but to say, hey, here's where you were. So one of the things I believe wholeheartedly is yesterday's best is today's standard, right? I also believe that to the degree that I grow our people, right, is to the degree we grow our business. If I can help our people grow from here to here, our business will grow from here to here. When we become stagnant, and we have a leadership culture. Everybody in our business, we have an executive team, we have an emerging team, we have a developing team. And so those are the three leadership groups. We have executive, emerging, and developing, right? But that's not an exclusive. If you're not in any one of those three groups, then we tell these people in these groups, you'd be mentoring at least one or two on the team that's not in. So we have a culture of leadership development and growth, right? We send people to seminars. We do book studies. Our whole culture is to grow people. And so, we try to put our money where our mouth is. Talk about investing. We'll send, last year we sent 30 some odd people to a Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within in Dallas, Texas, which is a significant investment on our part. But again, now one of the things that we did several years ago when we started doing this is we would just pay 100%. And we learned that was a mistake, right? Going back to having skin in the game. Now we say, look, this is what we'll do. It's still going to cost you, right? You're still going to have to make an investment. We'll invest this. You've earned the right to go. We'll invest this. You're going to have to invest this. Because we know if you're personally invested and have some skin in the game, the level of attention, you're just going to you're going to put more in, you're going to get more out if we allow you to have some skin in the game.
It's money.
Yeah.
You put a little bit of your own money in there. So yeah, absolutely, you want to take care of it. No, that's great, and that's really what I wanted to kind of get at was, everybody that's watching this is going to know that it takes investment in order to get to this type of level, right? So, do you have any other? Was there any other comments that you wanted to make, or anything that you wanted to kind of close with for our group here?
Yeah. So, I guess really, in closing, I would just say, you're in a group. It's Elevate Amarillo, right? You are a group of younger leaders in our community that have raised your hand and actually joined a group, right? That says we want to elevate our community. We want to do it through our personal leadership, through our heart and desire to help and better the community or the area of the Amarillo area, right? And so I want to commend you for that. And I just want to say we need people like you to be involved in the communities, to be giving back. But you can't give what you don't have. And so we kind of started off some of this about, work ethic and internal fortitude, and Matt's been talking a lot on mentorship, but see, all of that starts with you. You have to be serious about personal growth. You have to be serious about becoming better. And it's not right. It's in multi areas. A lot of this deals with business, but if your marriage is all messed up, you're not going to probably do very good in business. So we do have to have a holistic life, and you have to have your spiritual life together. And you have to, physically, you can have all the money that you can want, and your physical body is a wreck, and you're sick all the time. There's no quality of life. So there is a holistic approach to life that I believe will serve you the best. So I applaud you, I celebrate you, and I just want to say, keep working hard, internal fortitude, work ethic, same things Terry taught me in third grade and fourth grade. I just want to suggest those things to you. It'll never steer you wrong. Always do the right thing. Never compromise your integrity. That will always, I've seen many a talented person that stepped off the path, compromised their integrity, and ruined years and years and years of great accomplishments through a really boneheaded decision. So don't go down that path. It never works out. Even if you see other people succeeding, you think because they're doing those things, it's short-lived, and it'll always end in tragedy. So do the right thing, keep working hard, and I'm just proud to be a part of this today. So thanks,
Awesome.
man.
Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right. So there it is. And look forward to everybody being able to tune into this. And make sure you drop your comments in there. And if there's enough questions in there, maybe we can get Mr. Vaughn to answer some of those questions later on.
Yeah.
All right.
Help.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.